Constructive response questions. Yes, CRQs are very important for ACCA performance management and financial management. So in today's video, we'll be discussing some crucial things about CRQ. This is Rizwan Maniya, your instructor for PM, FM and APM at WIFI. Constructive response question means you have to construct the responses. So it has a weightage of 40 marks in PM and FM. There are two things to consider here first. That is narrative side and the calculative areas. So first I will start with few important things about narrative side of CRQs. Yes, the first thing which is very important is whenever you read the requirement to determine verbs and the objects. Verbs are very important to understand. So for that, you have to watch my video that is explaining the verbs, like what state means, what explain means. This is available on WIFI's YouTube channel. So do watch this video to understand verbs. So the first thing is you will break the question into verbs and objects. There can be more than one verbs, there can be more than one objects. I can even say objects as elements. Second thing is, do look at the word and. In one question, you will see the word and. Now this word and means there is additional requirement in that same question. And that's why I'm saying there are more than one verbs, more than one objects. So make sure your marks that are allotted to that question are dependent on both the objects. So until and unless you don't answer both the objects, you will not get the marks. A quick example. For example, the question says, discuss the problems of rolling budgets and justify an alternative approach. So the first verb is discuss. What to discuss is the object, that is problems of rolling budget. So that's the first part of the question. Then there is a word and. You can see another verb, justify. What to justify? The object is alternative approach. So there are two verbs, discuss and justify. There are two objects, problems of rolling budgets and alternative approach. So remember, you will get marks if you answer both the objects. That is, you discuss the problems and you also justify the alternative approach. So it is important to identify the word and for additional requirements. Next is when you are answering this question. So make sure that you use headings. These headings will ensure that you are covering all the objects. As I said, if there are two objects, problems of rolling budget and alternative approach, so you can use headings, problems of rolling budget. Under this heading, you can mention the problems of rolling budget in paragraphs. Yes, no bullets required, in paragraph. So the layout should be in form of a paragraph. Then the second heading will be of the alternative approach. And under this heading, you have to come up with the alternative approach and you will justify that. So the layout will be in form of paragraphs, and by the use of headings, you will restrict yourself and you will ensure that you don't miss out the objects. If there are three objects, you can use three headings. If there are four objects, you can use four headings to ensure that you are covering all the objects to gain complete marks, and it gives the reader a very good impression that yes, whatever I have asked, the answer is according to that. So that's very important, the layout of the answer. Then after that, you have to keep in your mind. Then after that, consider whether the question is knowledge based or application based. So once you read the question, you will get an idea whether it is knowledge based or it is application based. In knowledge base, you have to write the bookish knowledge. I call this as bookish knowledge, okay? And you don't have to link that with the scenario. But when it is application based question, that is where you have to link with the scenario, and that is where students struggle. So if the question says that discuss the problems of rolling budget for XYZ company, now this is a question where you have to link with the scenario that is known as application based. And in application based, my friends, you have to use the points given in the scenario. You have to come up with the problems that are relevant to XYZ company for using rolling budgets. So it's very important to see whether this is knowledge based, where you don't have to link with the scenario, and application based, where you have to link with the scenario. Okay. One more thing you have to keep in your mind, and that is it's not an English language paper. So they are not testing your grammar. Your English should be simple. It should be something that one can understand easily and understand what you want to communicate. That's it. No hi-fi jargons are required. You don't have to be perfect in your grammar. It should be understandable, simple. Okay, so that's also important for your narrative parts. So for narrative, there are few things. Number one, identify verbs and objects. Number two, look for the additional requirements by the word and. Number three, your answer format should be a one where you are using headings for the objects, and under those headings you are using different paragraphs to answer. Number four, to figure out whether it is knowledge based or application based, where you have to link with the scenario. Number five, your answer should be simple, easy to read, and again, it's not a English language paper. So these five things are important for narrative areas. Now, coming towards the calculative area of CRQs, where you have to use spreadsheets. Spreadsheet is a very powerful tool for FM questions when you're calculating NPV. Yes, you can link things well. You can just input a formula wisely in one cell, and I can tell you the rest is all copy paste. Use Control C, Control V to copy paste the stuff. You can save your time. That's part of smart paper solving technique as well. You can save your time using spreadsheets. So for example, if you're calculating revenue for 1 year, variable cost for 1 year, fixed cost for 1 year, taxable cash flows for 1 year, tax payment for 1 year, and maybe other things that you can work out for the first year, just copy that first year formulas and paste to year 2, 3, and 4, and everything will be done automatically. Honestly, this is what I do. This is what I've done in my webinars, in my online classes. If you still want to learn, you can watch my free webinars available on Wifi's YouTube channel. So that's smart paper solving technique. You can save your time using spreadsheet. Spreadsheet is a strength for you. So my friends, for spreadsheets, do proper calculations. Don't use calculators. Using calculator is a big sin in case of spreadsheets. Link cells properly. If you are making a working area, refer to the main calculation, the workings that you have done there. So there will be a main answer area, and then there will be a working area. So the working area will show the workings which are properly linked, or the reference are given to the main area. So this should be the layout for your spreadsheets. And yes, use Excel so that you save your time. So now I hope these five things for narrative areas and the tips that I mentioned for spreadsheets will help you in your CRQs, and you will perform best in CRQs. So that's it from my side. See you soon.